Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Diamond with only version exclusives was a fun team run. Let's follow that up with a really hard solo run. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Soul Silver with a team of only one Cyndaquil. Alright, I'm sure tons of you have used a Cyndaquil before, so you already know why this might be a rough one. It's a first form starter with a base stats of only 309. It's got somewhat decent special attack and speed, and even a little bit of special defense, but we're not really great outside of that. Our health is especially bad at only 39. By level up, we get Flame Wheel and Flamethrower, but that's about it in terms of stuff that I actually want. I mean, Rollout might be good. It'll take a while to get there, but hey, it might pay off. By TM I can learn Dig, but that honestly might be all I bother with. Return wouldn't be that bad of an idea at some point, especially for water types, although Flamethrower with Charcoal is still going to be our best move most of the time. Maybe Aerial Ace for fighting types? It's hard to say. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'm confident that I can win, but I'm just as confident that I can't beat Red at the end. I'll try, as is customary, but I expect Blue to be our real final challenge that we could actually possibly beat. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Cyndaquil. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. No need for the randomizer on this one, since obviously we can just start with a Cyndaquil anyway. I name her Saber, what with it being Saber time and all. Our nature is naughty, so more attack and less special defense. I guess it's not quite as optimal as if it was special attack up, but this does make some moves like Dig stronger, so I think it's worth it. Flame Wheel will be stronger too. I'm probably still replacing it with Flamethrower at some point, but at least we'll be stronger until then. Alright, early game travel. I'm sure it won't surprise you to see that this goes fine. The area is balanced for a first form starter, and that's exactly what we're using. Honestly, out of all the weird runs that I've done over the years, this is probably the challenge where it's most likely that some of you have actually done this. I'm not sure how many of you have never evolved their Cyndaquil or decided to never use items in combat, but I'm sure at least a few of you have, so you'll probably know the drill. Travel is easy early thanks to us being a fire type and there being a lot of bugs here. Not only that, but we get to do Bellsprout Tower next, and shockingly, it's full of Bellsprouts. Yeah, Ember makes a really short work of this place, so it's a really easy place to gain some levels before the Flying Gym. If this was regular gold, then I'm sure we'd get mud-slapped into oblivion, but they're more into Roost in this version. That's a healing move, so we're gonna need a decent few levels so that they can't out-heal us. I'm sure this'll go fine, though. Okay, I thought the Flying Gym would be easy, but this was actually just absurd. We crit Pidgey to one-shot it, then the second hit on Pidgeotto also crit to take it out, so we only took 10 damage the whole fight. I guess the Pokemon gods just want to speed up the early game so we can get to the interesting parts. Well, I don't really think that the next gym is going to be too hard since it's a bug gym. Maybe Scyther with Quick Attack could be kind of annoying if we get there at too low of a level, but really it should be fine. The rival fight after that might not be so easy because of him having a water type. But really, I think it's the normal gym that's going to give us issues. Miltank with Rollout is difficult on a good day, but we're fire type. Rock moves like Rollout are going to really mess us up. Let's get the bug gym and the rival fight out of the way. Maybe we'll have better moves by the time we get to the normal gym. Well, the bug gym was nearly a sweep. Scyther survived an attack and was doing alright damage with Quick Attack, but obviously we could overpower his team pretty easily. I'm kind of worried about the rival fight though. Ouch. As expected, the rival fight didn't go so well. Ghastly was a one-shot, but Croconaw was an issue. Flame Wheel and Quick Attack seemed to be doing about the same amount of damage, so I stuck with Flame Wheel, but it didn't really matter. Water Gun two-shot us. I figure in a level or two we could stand a chance, though. I mean, unless he stopped using Scary Face. Then we could lose for a lot longer. I'll go get a few levels and then keep trying. Okay, so I got 2 more levels, and then had to try this fight a few more times due to weird luck with him sometimes using a Water Gun more often, or getting confused by the Zubat at the end, then flinching a bunch from bites, due to being slow from the Scary Faces. But it didn't take too much longer before we got this win. We got a burn on Croconaw, but honestly, it didn't help us that much. I think we'd have won regardless, especially if we got another attempt where he used Scary Face 3 times. Quick Attack really helps with that. Well, we're going to the normal gym now, and thankfully, we can pick up some charcoal. You don't just buy that at the store like in regular gold, or I'd have it by now, but you actually get a free one from a dude back in Azalea Town after you get your cut HM. Holding this gives us an extra 20% power and fire moves, so I figure it might help us stand a chance by the time of the normal gym. It's hard to say though, it wouldn't shock me if she out-healed me anyway. Maybe we'll luck out and get a burn to make her rollout weaker, you never know. Well, Clefairy was a one-shot and Miltank very much wasn't. We were stuck in this weird loop of her using Milk Drink forever because it was healing her very slightly more than what we could do with our Flame Wheels, so I was just hoping to burn her eventually to turn the tide. Then we eventually ended up just getting a crit to take her out. Hey, well, we didn't have to worry about rollout after all. Alright, so we have a rival fight and the Ghost Gym fight coming up. I kind of think the Ghost Gym will be easy, but it's hard to say for sure, but our rival might be pretty difficult. It seems like any water Pokemon that we fight really shut us down for a long time. We might have to grind a bit, but at least there's a lot of trainers here that we can fight for some quick experience. While I travel though, just a reminder that I have a Patreon. I get asked pretty often. Yeah, it's in the description of all my videos. It's just for if you want to support the show. I don't really have any paywalled content or anything. I like to keep the show free. The Patreon is just for if you want to help out. Thanks, I appreciate it a lot. So our rival went pretty much the same as the previous rival fight. He used Scary Face 3 times, even though he could have just used Water Gun a bunch and beat us. But because of that, we were able to take him out. He has a Magnemite now, and it paralyzes us, but of course, one Fire Wheel takes him out. It's funny, we're slower than Croconaw after one Scary Face, so why does he bother with the other two? So I kinda thought the Ghost Gym after would be easy, but it turns out we fainted fast. Ghastly is easy, of course, but Gengar's faster than us, and although we do tons of damage, so does he. 2 Shadow Balls easily take us out. I bet it wouldn't take many levels to get faster, though. I'll go clear out some trainers in the west and then come back and try again. While I was coming back from clearing out the lighthouse, I ran into Entei. I mean, it doesn't really matter, it's not like I'm prepared to catch him, but it's kinda cool, so I thought I'd show it. I'm gonna go back to leveling up one more time for Flamethrower. Our attack and special attack are almost identical right now anyway. Alright, so it went much better this time, mostly just because Gengar had used Sucker Punch instead. That was a lot weaker. He was a one-shot with a critical Flamethrower, but it probably didn't even need to crit. Plus, even if it didn't and he somehow held on, we would have survived Shadow Ball at that point. The rest of his team was a sweep, no problem. So we have a few gyms coming up, but I think I wanted to do the hardest one first just to see how it turns out. We have the Fighting Gym, the Steel Gym, and the Ice Gym. Normally the Steel Gym is the hardest and the Ice Gym is the easiest, but we're Fire type, so I could actually see the Steel Gym not being too bad. I don't think she has any ground moves in this version, although I could be misremembering. And I guess if we're too slow, then we could easily get paralyzed and that could cause issues, but I think we have a decent chance at having an easy time. I need to fetch a Secret Potion for Jasmine's Amphi first, then I can take a crack at the gym. Then it's the Fighting Gym, and that might be harder than usual just because of Poliwrath, but we'll see when we get there. So the Steel Gym didn't just go well, it went great. Total sweep. I didn't think it would quite be that easy. Let's see how the Fighting Gym goes. Well, Primeape was of course easy, but Poliwrath really hit us hard. Like way harder than I was even expecting. We almost went down to a single surf, and the only reason we hung on longer is because he used Focus Punch for some reason. Maybe with awesome luck we could win, but I think just trying this fight later might make more sense. So with that said, I'm going through the Rocket Hideout. This is a great way to get a few more levels, and it unlocks the Ice Gym. I figure it'll be an easy one. He does have some ground types, but we're strong against ice, so I figure it'll probably go fine. I remember him being harder in Heart Gold and Soul Silver than he is in regular Gold and Silver, but I'm sure he won't be too big of a problem. We hit really hard with Flamethrower, so I just don't see him stopping us. Time for the Ice Gym, and we actually failed this a bunch. On this try though, I started with Rollout against Seal, and he went down reasonably fast after he wasted a Hyper Potion. Thanks to that, our Rollout built up tons by the time that Pillow-Swine came out, so he couldn't just Mud Bomb us, so we got to take him out right away. Last is Dugong though, and our Rollout had ended, so I just kept going for Flamethrower. We crit right away for awesome damage, but he used Rest to heal back up, so we had to keep trying. He's got Sleep Talk, so he can keep hitting us while he's asleep, but we still took him out in the end. That was actually kind of a hard fight. I'm not sure if we're ready for the Fighting Gym yet, but I've got to try. Oh, and on our way there, we ran into Raikou. I swear, they must be way more common in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. This isn't the only run where we've ran into them. Okay, this fight was insane. It took a few tries because sometimes he just beats us with a few surfs, but for some reason, he'd also often use Hypnosis or Focus Punch. We're faster, so of course Focus Punch is just gonna fail every time. After a few tries, we got this insane one where he just kept using Hyper Potions to hold on for ages, and he had tons of turns where he could have finished us off with Surf, but he simply didn't. He just kept using Focus Punch and obviously failing because we'd hit him first. It's just amazing. I have no idea how he did such a bad job. Hey, I'll take the win though. Next up is our rival. Golbat is a one-shot with Flamethrower, and second is Feraligatr. Flamethrower actually did pretty awesome damage. It wasn't quite enough for a two-shot, so we ended up going all the way down to only 13 health off Water Gun before we took him out. Haunter was a one-shot with Flamethrower, as was Magnemite right after. Last is Sneasel, who hit a quick attack to bring us to only 1 health before we nailed the one-shot. That was insanely close. So we've got the Dragon Gym coming up, and I don't feel confident at all. In Soul Silver and Heart Gold, she's got a Water Onix, so I think Rollout is going to be the best move here. But how are we supposed to actually win? She's got 2 Water types, plus some Dragonairs with Thunder Wave. Being paralyzed is bad enough on a good day, but we're relying on Rollout. Paralysis could really ruin us. I think Kingdra has Hydro Pump too, and I bet that would just one-shot us. If there's any fight that we're gonna have to level up like crazy for, it's probably this one. Let's go find out. Okay, so first try the Dragon Gym and it doesn't go well. Water Onix was first, and although our Flamethrowers do alright damage, so does her Dragon Rage. We can bring her down to a sliver, but she always takes us out. Okay, I know we're losing attack to Intimidate, but let's try again with Rollout and see what happens. I thought I would just try Flamethrower first. So Rollout did a pretty great job. We got hurt a lot, but Water Onix did go down. We even did crazy damage to Kingdra as it came out, but she just healed up with a berry and then easily finished us off with Hydro Pump. I guess I could hope for a miss, but I don't really see how we could win the rest of the fight even if that happened. I can't learn any great moves for this, so really I just have to get stronger. So I come back 5 levels later, and this time we crit on the second turn of Rollout, so Water Onix went down early. We did okay damage to Kingdra, but not even close to a knockout, and of course we just went down early to Hydro Pump. I gotta be honest, it might be a really long time before we could take a Hydro Pump without fainting, but even if a Hydro Pump missed, I don't think that the next hit of Rollout would make it faint. I'm kind of at a loss for how we can win this one without just gaining tons of levels. I want to say that Substitute could get an extra hit in, but it might just get taken out by Water Onix first, and the time we spend setting it up is time that we need for Rollout to build power. I think I really need to level until I can either tank a Hydro Pump, or until Rollout could make Kingdra faint if one Hydro Pump missed. Well, we can't use any vitamins, so our effort values are maxed out, so at least rare candies won't result in lower stats. I tried more at level 62, and now sometimes our second hit of Rollout makes Water Onix use a Hyper Potion, but not always. Now, getting to Kingdra on a later stage of our Rollout isn't quite enough to make it faint, but I'm actually pretty confident that by level 65 it would be. I think a victory might be in sight. So at level 65 things go better, but not how I expected. Our second Rollout brought her to a sliver, so she used a Hyper Potion, as expected, but then our third hit didn't make her faint. That means that the fourth hit finished her off, and as Kingdra came out, we hit her with the final fifth hit to just one-shot her. That may look good, but that means that we aren't rolling out when the first Dragonair came out. She was a two-shot with Flamethrower, but we got paralyzed and brought to red health. That means her final Dragonair easily used Aqua Tail to finish us off. I'm not really sure how to get around that. Maybe by level 68, our third rollout would just one-shot Water Onix, then we could hit Kingdra with our fourth hit, take out Dragonair with our fifth hit, then Flamethrower down the final Dragonair. I don't know if that's how it'll work, though. There's a chance the fourth rollout wouldn't be strong enough to take out Kingdra. Guess there's only one way to find out. Ouch. Well, it was worth a try. At level 68, we can take out Water Onix early, but that fourth rollout doesn't one-shot Kingdra. It comes really close, though. I'm gonna guess that somewhere between levels 70 and 72, we could get that one-shot we're looking for. Alright, so at level 70, things go about the same, but I'm seeing a new problem on the horizon. We're coming really close to making Water Onix faint a whole cycle earlier. If that ends up happening, then we would for sure not be doing enough damage to Kingdra, and it would blow the whole strategy. I'm gonna start going one level at a time. There's a chance that maybe we can still make this work with the right damage ranges. Okay, this is looking rough. Level 71, and we are coming a lot closer to taking out Water Onix on rollout 3 than we are taking out Kingdra on rollout 4. It's looking more and more like we just have to keep leveling until Hydro Pump doesn't make us faint. But even if it doesn't, then it'll leave us with so little health that the Dragonairs will make us faint. Who knows though, maybe at this point we can one-shot them with Dig. I want to point out that in all these attempts I've made, I still haven't seen Hydro Pump miss a single time. Level 73, and yeah, it's exactly what I was worried about. We're taking out Water Onix in an earlier cycle now, so it doesn't come even close to one-shotting Kingdra anymore. But it can still take us out easily. That means that we have more health going into the Kingdra fight, but if we're still getting hit by Hydro Pump, then it doesn't really matter much. At this point, I think our biggest hope is either that we're close to surviving Hydro Pump, or that if Hydro Pump misses and we don't miss rollout, then maybe we could just wipe out all the Dragonairs. This is all luck, though. It's a really rough fight. Alright, this is insane. Water Onix went the same as always, but Kingdra finally missed its Hydro Pump, so we took it out without taking any damage. That's when rollout missed the moment Dragonair came out, so we got paralyzed right away. I used Dig and it did okay damage, but figured we were doomed with how much damage Aqua Tail was doing. With only 22 health left, the last Dragonair came out, hit us with Slam, we landed with 1 health, then we hit Flamethrower for a one-shot. I can't believe we finally won this never-ending battle. Well, I didn't think I'd have to level quite that much out of nowhere, but then again, I always knew the Dragon Gym was going to be one of the hardest fights. We just have our rival left, then it's the Elite Four. I actually feel good about a lot of the Elite Four, but I don't know how our rival is going to go. Water types tend to shut us down pretty hard. Let's find out. Well, as expected, Feraligatr was the only Pokemon who we couldn't one-shot, and it only hit us once with Waterfall, so it went just fine. We're at that point where we can really overpower stronger Pokemon with Flamethrower as long as we've got our Charcoal. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, it's actually not so bad, and I think that a lot of the Elite Four will be pretty easy, but I'm pretty skeptical about how the Lance fight itself is gonna go. He's got a lot of Pokemon that resist fire, and Dig isn't going to hit them either since he loves his flying types. I actually think I'm going to have to rely on Rollout again, but if that's the case, then Thunder Wave could really shut us down. Still, I think Rollout is probably our best chance at winning. Make your final guess on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Psychic Trainer Will. I'm sure it won't surprise you to see that this was pretty much a sweep. Yeah, Slowbro could take a hit, but it was just using Curse, so we two-shot it. We're not super effective against most of his team, but that's fine. We're pretty over-leveled, and Flamethrower is a solid move, especially with Charcoal. Second is Poison Trainer Koga. Yeah, this fight was a sweep too. We used Dig against Muck, and I guess it could have missed with Minimize and things could have gone worse, but they didn't, so it was fine. Third is Fighting Trainer Bruno. Now this actually took a couple of tries because I tried to use Dig on Onix like an idiot and got Earthquaked while underground, but after I switched to using Flamethrower the whole time, it went fine. Actually, Flamethrower can usually one-shot Hitmontop, but on this try, he survived with a Slifer, got burned, then fainted while underground, so that was funny. Machamp hit us pretty hard, but overall, easy fight. Fourth is Dark Trainer Karen. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say. It was pretty much a sweep. Although not literally. Umbreon survived, but didn't hurt us, and against Houndoom I used Flamethrower, even though it's got the ability to absorb it, so that wasn't smart. Dig one-shot it right after, though, since Houndoom is physically very frail, so we were never in any danger of losing. I do think we're in danger of losing to Lance, though. Finally, Pokemon Champion Lance. I mean, I knew I wouldn't win, but I didn't think I'd fail so early. The fight starts with Water Onix, and although we hit hard with Rollout, it's faster than us and two-shots us with Waterfall. Well, Waterfall doesn't miss, so I guess I just have to level up until we're faster. Well, level 80 and we're faster, but we still don't come close to two-shotting him, and he still two-shots us. Okay, if it's going this badly at level 80, then I'm getting worried about what the post-game is gonna look like, if we even can win this. I'm gonna keep trying at level 85 and see if it looks at all possible below level 90. Level 85, Nah, things go almost the exact same way every time. I'm still not even getting him to red health on the second hit. If we could at least get him into red health, then he would use a full restore, and we could probably take him out on the third round of rollout, but we're just not there yet. Hey, maybe by level 90 we could just hardly take 2 hits and not faint if we're lucky? Level 90, and not only do we still faint to 2 waterfalls, just hardly, but he straight up doesn't use a full restore when at red health. Well, I didn't anticipate this at all. Man, are we gonna need to be level 100 to beat this? Level 95, and this is insane. We still can't two-shot him, he can't two-shot us now, but for some reason, he uses full restores now. So he goes down on the third round. Next is Aerodactyl, who's just a one-shot because our rollout is on round 4 now. After that is Dragonite, who gets hit by our 5th round rollout, obviously one-shotting it, but that's the end of rollout. So as a second Dragonite comes out, we obviously cannot one-shot it, and we go down to Dragon Rush. Okay, I guess we have to be level 100. Alright, so at level 100, we can take down Water Onix on round 2 of rollout, changing the fight a lot. Aerodactyl is still a one-shot with round 3 of rollout, and Dragonite is a one-shot on round 4, meaning that round 5 actually takes out the second Dragonite. We still have more than half of our health left, maybe this could be a win. Second from last is the final Dragonite, so we start a fresh rollout, but he gets us with Thunder Wave. That means that the next round, we get hit by Dragon Rush, we hit a rollout, he heals with a full restore, and we're fully paralyzed, so we can't finish him off. Okay, that was tragic, but a victory is absolutely possible. We just have to not get fully paralyzed, and things have to go the same. Then I think we could take out the Dragonite. Then, as long as the Charizard after doesn't finish us off, we'll easily take it out thanks to the double type advantage on rollout. I just have to keep trying. Now, I want to show you how awful this fight is. What you're watching right now is 14 back-to-back attempts. Every rollout has a 10% chance to miss. We get paralyzed every run, so we can just lose attacks to that. And we often just don't two-shot Water Onix, even at level 100. We can fail this fight in a lot of different ways, but attempts are at least pretty hands-off, since I don't need to mash through when using rollout in Gen 4. On the 15th try, we get this one where we finally manage to hit the final Dragonite all the required times to take it out, and it even missed its Dragon Rush, so we're super healthy. Paralysis didn't activate against Charizard, and yet we missed our rollout at the end. We kept trying rollout after, but then we kept getting fully paralyzed until he took us out. My heart dropped when that happened. I just gotta keep trying. Alright, here we go. It took another 9 tries, but finally, we basically get the exact same run, but at the end, we don't miss and aren't fully paralyzed, so we hit rollout and take out Charizard. Finally, we win the run. With that victory, we get into the Hall of Fame and we win the run, but you know it's not over yet. Heart Gold has all of Kanto in the post-game, including 8 gym battles and a secret final boss fight with Red. 7 of those 8 gym battles are super easy since they're weaker than the Elite Four, so we're gonna skip ahead to the next real challenge, Blue. Now, I'm under no delusions. We probably won't beat Blue, and we absolutely will not be able to beat Red even if we do beat Blue. I mean, did you see how badly the Pokemon Champion went? We haven't beaten Red with a single solo Pokemon in Heart Gold or Soul Silver. I didn't even pull it off with Regigigas, but if I can beat Blue, then you know that I've at least got to show you what Red looks like. It'll be cool if we can even get past Pikachu at the start. I'm gonna grab Leftovers and try the Blue fight. We'll try it first with Charcoal, and if that doesn't work, then I think Leftovers would help more, but we'll see. Wish me luck. So first is Executor, who's obviously just a one-shot with Flamethrower, and second is Rhydon. Now, we did awesome damage with Flamethrower, but his Stone Edge hit us really hard. I'm just lucky that we burned him, because we would have taken a lot more damage if we didn't. Problem is, right after his Water Onix, and it used Dragon Dance, so it took us out pretty easily after that with Waterfall. Well, I can try again with Leftovers, but this really isn't looking good. So I try again with Leftovers. Now, Executor is still a one-shot, but often Rhydon just nearly one-shots us with either Stone Edge or Earthquake, and we just instantly go down to Water Onix. I mean, there's really nothing I can do to stop that. Even if we got Substitute to give us another turn, we just can't set up against Rhydon because he would one-shot the Substitute. I think it's fair to say that this run is over. That was a really fun one. It's cool to do a solo fire-type run in the remakes like that. I remember doing some solo fire runs in Gold, and that was pretty easy, but this one was actually really hard. I hope you guys like this run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week on Saturday, like usual, with Remoraid in Pokemon Gold. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments in the challenge request section of my Discord channel and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. All right, outro time. Hi, Sabu. Sorry, Sabu is continually jumping on the table and trying to get in the way of the voiceover right now. Even though I just fed him, hi. He just wants his post-meal snuggles, I guess. So, you may have noticed I've already started putting up the RimWorld playthrough that I've been talking for, I don't know, months now that I want to finally do. I've been having a ton of fun with that over on Twitch. I'll probably do some of those streams on YouTube at some point, but I've been putting the VODs up on YouTube like I always do, in the playlist section, check it out. Also started up with Project Zomboid with my friend Calippi. That's been really fun, been really nice getting back into that game. The whole first episode is a beautiful disaster of us getting eaten over and over, because it turns out that a bunch of the server settings were set to like super high difficulty in weird settings, just because when the game updates over and over and over the years, and my server was like 8 years old, a bunch of those options didn't exist anymore, so they defaulted to like really high difficulty things instead of what the defaults are supposed to be. But on the second episode, I had all that fixed, and we had a really good 4-hour session. If you need something crazy to binge, that was really fun. I have this mod for RimWorld as well that adds the first 4 generations of Pokemon into the game. Now, it says it's not meant for the most recent patch of RimWorld, but it seems to still launch anyway, so maybe I gotta do some kind of like stream or video or something on that, just because it might be like a fun little side series kind of thing, you know? I don't know. I gotta check that out, but it might be some goofy fun putting Pokemon in RimWorld. Now I gotta go make some dinner. I got some salmon downstairs. I got some rice put together. I got some asparagus all chopped up and ready to throw in the air fryer. And I need a real good meal in me because I've barely eaten today and had terrible sleep. And it's just disaster today. The only thing I've done right is have enough water. It's been brutal getting through this voiceover just because my head is all discombobulated. When I sleep badly, I'm so bad at voiceovers. I think I need to take some acetaminophen or something too, because I got kind of a headache, like a tension headache, just creeping up in my neck. Not fun. I'll be okay though. I'll be okay, surely. Oh yeah, and if you're watching this live right now on the premiere, then check the chat. Check the pinned message at the top. I might be doing a Pokemon or a Poke Rogue stream right after. We'll see. Those have been really fun. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.